Good evening. My name is Brightops, and welcome to something new. Warhammer 40k, Mechanicus. A relatively new game. It came out, I believe, last year, and I have given it a playthrough. I have given it a bit of a playthrough, but we will be recording a series on this in order to give people a chance, in order to see it firsthand. Give it a little bit more publicity than it seems to have gotten. But anyway, let us begin. The 41st Millennium, a time of darkness and war. The Imperium of Man claims the whole galaxy in the name of the God Emperor. It fights an endless war against Xenos from without, heretics from within, and supernatural horrors from beyond. Alongside the Imperium's war fleet serves the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are the Tech-Priests of Mars, guardians and reclaimers of humanity's technology, ever searching for remnants of knowledge from man's glorious past, exploring the depths of the galaxy for worlds long lost to mankind. In the name of their machine god, they manufacture the Imperial war machines within gigantic foundries, known as Forge Worlds. Gradually, the Tech-Priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus shed their human weakness, replacing their limbs and organs with machinery that is both stronger and spiritually pure. Their leaders, the inscrutable Magi, protect the Forge Worlds and explore the furthest corners of the galaxy with their cohorts, the Skitari troops. It is a time of warfare, tragedy, and portents of doom. Across this blighted galaxy, the Adeptus Mechanicus are one of mankind's last defenses against a new dark age. Or perhaps they will be the ones to hasten its dawn. An echo in the Neosphere Magnus. An old transmission lost in the warp and recovered only now. Is it worthy of our attention? The Great Divide torments the galaxy. The resources of the Adeptus Mechanicus are stretched thin. We are weaker than ever, though the Imperium at large knows it not. This represents an unknown, but possible key to victory. An opportunity to research, perhaps avert the ill fate that has befallen us. The transmission's origins is Silva Tenebris, part of the Amissus Solaris, within Ultima Sigmentum. Search the rolls, Raggedus. Gather them. 4 months later. Whoever finds this transmission and follows me here, give thanks that you will see what I have seen. But be wary, my fellow seekers of knowledge. Whatever lies beneath this world, I fear, I hope, I have awoken it. I came to this world to investigate its ruins, but I found so much more. Terrors, yes, threats to body and soul, but by the Omnissiah, I found such wonders. This is the last transmission of Magnus Rishak. He vanished while on an explorator mission to investigate Xenos structures on Sylvia Tenebris. Hypothesis. He found something. Our mission on this world is to ascertain any Xenos presence and, if we find it, eliminate it as a threat to the Imperium. The opening of the Great Divide means that we can call on no additional support from the Forge Worlds. We must achieve this for the troops and resources we bring with us. Benefit analysis. Peace for sector. Knowledge for mankind. +++ potential. +++ opportunity. An opportunity to destroy the works of the Xenos Scalvo Vola, not appropriate them. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Manuscripts verse 619. What the enemy built, let it be made asunder, for to us it will be as a house made of sand and knives. Magi, we are approaching the target coordinates. Yeah. Warp travel at its finest. Dangerous as all hell. There she is. Temperate climate, atmosphere, standard breathable. My Skitarii troops should be able to operate down there without trouble. Are they ready to make landfall? As soon as we are in stable orbit, Magos. Administratum records indicate a single colony, St. Eckhard's Hope, on the surface near the Xenos ruins. No contact recorded in 2 centuries. Colony presumed failed. The Skitarii will deploy to the surface near the ruins along with a team of Tech-Priests under my direct command. I shall monitor them from the command throne on board. Servo Datus will serve as my eyes on the surface. We make landfall at once. Yes, Magnus. I'll set up a forward command post. Rishak's transmissions looks like it came from underground. We'll secure any entrances to an underground structure so your Tech-Priests can begin the exploration. And we've unlocked a sector. For those of you who are wondering, this game actually does have voice actors. The thing is, at the moment, we are dealing with Tech-Priests who, well, don't actually need to speak English. or or Low Gothic, as it is known in the Imperium. They actually have their own little language. They have their own language that, due to their cybernetic enhancements, means that they can communicate by transmitting what is essentially pure data, which is what the noises they're making while they're speaking. It effectively means that they can, by saying very little in their screechy noises, they can actually transmit a lot more information than, well, most people would be able to do with words. But anyway, so for the purposes of the roles of Tech-Priests, I will read what they say, just for the sake of it. But anyway, the Akrolethki sector located. This tomb reeks of stale, dusty antiquity. Its once stern architecture is littered with debris and tarnished with the patina of age. Here and there fissures in the structure cast feeble light over cracked and tarnished metal. The tomb was once brutalist and oppressive, as if designed to crush the spirits of its inhabitants. It is no less intimidating now, but instead of evoking a merciless guiding intelligence, it speaks only of decline and death. This place seems abandoned at first glance, but as the exploratory troops move through its hushed corridors, the ancient dust stirs and something long dead begins to take on a facsimile of life. Going by our fragmentary information, it looks like a buried tomb structure. Then the sword of the Omnissiah is ready to fall. We deploy immediately. Let secrets of this world equal 0. I counsel caution, Magnus Frostinius. Our purpose should be here to destroy the threat of the alien, not to bask in its blasphemy. Aphorisms of the Logic Saints 7.91. In the presence of the Xenos lies the invisible miasma of corruption. Destruction is not possible from ordered viaducts. The structure is too deeply buried. And Skevola, I have no intention of plundering whatever trinkets I can find from this place. The Explorator unit of Tech-Priests is inside the tomb and ready to proceed at Magos. There is no telling what we will find. My men will hold the perimeter in case of the unexpected. It would be folly to commit our whole manpower to the unknown, especially when the potential of a moral threat exists that the Skitarii are less able to withstand. I have the greatest respect for my Skitarii, but they are still far from the ascension that a Tech-Priest affords. I agree, Subdomina. I shall lead the mission in person from the command throne. Servo Scorridius shall be my eyes and ears on the ground. Omnissa be praised. We're going in. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a curious breed. They explore and interact with machines they do not fully understand. Within this Within this tutorial, we'll have to explore the interface to discover what to do. Like a true Tech-Priest, you must experiment in order to learn. We'll help you out this one time. Left mouse button, also known as LMB, click on the adjacent room to move. Okay, that's our team. We have our 2 Tech-Priests, and a team of servitors to help us out. But let us move forward. These Xeno hieroglyphs, I know of them. They are my undoers, Necrons. Mysterious, ill-researched, corruptive. This could be a rare sample of the Necron language, Magnus. We have barely any knowledge of it. Collecting data from this obelisk could move our understanding of the language ahead for the first time in centuries. This is the work of the alien, Magnus. Codex Fulminatus 83.12. Show caution and scorn in all things. Sometimes Tech-Priests will feed back important information about what they encounter in a room. These situations will require you, our commander, to make decisions. There will be consequences, so choose wisely. Ahead is an obelisk-like object covered in what can only be described as hieroglyphic symbols. It almost reaches the tall ceiling of this chamber. We have the option of securing, which is check the surrounding chambers for potential dangers. Scrutinize, examine the inscriptions on the obelisk. Or scourge, destroy the obelisk. It is a monument to the alien and must fall. In this case, I'm thinking secure. There is information to be gleaned from this. I feel like there could be information to be gleaned from this thing, but we don't want to risk our team to find it. We're detecting a massive energy spike from inside the tomb. Thank the Omnisar no one was close enough to be hit by the radiation, but something's happening in there. Something huge. Necrolith source detected, also known as Blackstone. Request collection immediate. The cohort searches the chambers adjoining the obelisk's location. They find a few pieces of wreckage made from exotic materials and are gathering them when the obelisk suddenly splits open, bathing its chamber in radiation. It appears that there is also something inside the obelisk. So that paid off rather nicely for us. We've gathered some Blackstone, and our team was not exposed to dangerous amount of radiation. Yay. Okay, found out how we can move the map a little bit, but first things first. Sorry, I'm just turning the music down a bit because that is a bit louder than I thought it was going to be. Okay, let us push forward. Okay, there's nothing of value in here. There is, however, a squad of something in here. Necrons, Rashak did encounter them after all. No wonder he didn't make it off this planet. Every Datarum we have says that they are as deadly as they are inhuman. The cohort encounters resistance in the form of Xenos constructs. Not flesh and blood creatures, but artificial bodies that move with precision and coordination. We have the options of Crusade. The aggressive stance of the Tech-Priests ensure they will not be outmaneuvered, but risks their running headlong into the fire of the enemy. Caution. Exercise extreme caution. Do not charge in too heedlessly, lest the trickery of the alien be our downfall. Or consistency. Follow the established combat engagement protocols. It shall be done by the book. Let us be consistent, shall we? Combat will be joined according to the long-established tenets of the Adeptus Mechanicus, for good or ill. So we're going to enter combat. Xenos form detected. Confirmed. Ractus coactors now function for synthetic forms. Overwhelming excitement. Finally, we can study this standard construct Necron Warrior. Weak spots detected, plus none, equals concerning. I wonder about the symbols emblazoned on their torsos. It must... Do not underestimate. Gas weaponry, highly volatile. This is true. I've heard our brothers and sisters of the Mechanicus have lost their lives trying to solve the mysteries of these Xenos weapons. Approach with caution. It is also, double-checking cogators, widely known that they will self-repair plus reanimate or plus reconstruct themselves if left the time to do so. Wounds that would instantly kill a Skitarii are the equivalent of a Class C graze to Necrons. At the start of every fight, you must decide the location of your units on the field of battle. You can only place units on the highlighted squares. Click on a square to place a unit. Okay. Gonna put a princess... I think we'll go in and rename these guys in the near future. But for now... to move the unit, blah blah blah. Basically, there is a lot of... there is a fair bit of XCOM to this game. People have mentioned that it has a very XCOM-y vibe. You've just moved your tech priest to a source of cognition points, CP. CPs represent the valuable information the tech priests are harvesting. There are several ways to collect CP. The fastest way is moving your tech priest close to the source. There are many other ways to collect CP, so look around to find out what they are. Cognition points are stored at the bottom of the screen in the CP gauge. CP are a shared team resource, so plan ahead. Effectively, CP allows you to do a couple of things. Let's see, we've got all Tech-Priests have a servo skull, who is a faithful servant of the Omnissiah, augmented to be a useful companion. Servo skulls can be sent to effectively collect CP from points like this, as well as gain information on the enemy, which we're going to do right now. You've revealed the statistics of the enemy. Knowing your enemy's stats will greatly increase your chances of success. Servo skulls reveal HP, physical armor, and energy armor statistics. You can then decide what weapon types, if physical or energy, works best against this target. So effectively, part of one of the uses of CP is that it allows you to be able to take additional moves. You can move your people to additional places, which we are doing now. Or we will be doing. When you enter melee combat in a adjacent square to an enemy, you are unable to use your ranged weapons, as they are too dangerous to use at close range. Which is fine, because we were going to use melee. Killing Necrons isn't simple. Necrons are made of a self-repairing metal that is able to knit together dismembered limbs and gaping wounds. We call this the reanimation protocol. When a Necron is in their reanimation protocol, they're unable to fight, but will return to fighting conditions soon. Dealing any amount of damage to a Necron in this protocol state will destroy them indefinitely. You have gathered enough CP to use a CP-powered weapon. Some weapons, like I believe the one that our friend here has, requires CP to use. Look at the right-hand side of the action to learn the cost. Okay. And while we're at it, we'll just reveal our statistics. So our friend here has physical armor, as it were. So when it comes to physical damage, he will actually be fairly resilient to that sort of thing. At the start of every new round, there is the cognition requisition phase. This phase is when cognition points are replenished at basically these little tower things here. And because we're next to it, we can just absorb. You'll be able to call in other members of the cohort as the battle goes on. This will happen at the start of every round. You'll need CP to deploy troops. We don't really need to do this, but why not? We'll deploy one of our servitors. And we might as well finish this son of a bitch off. The Necron you have just attacked has been teleported away to somewhere far beyond our reach. In practical terms, that means you have killed the target. And we might as well just move him to here, out where he is relatively safe and out of melee range. When servitors are hit in combat, Tech-Priests take an interest, quickly noting down damage angles, projectile speeds, and other useful combat information to be used later against their enemies. This is represented by gaining a CP point, a cognition point. Servitors are a very useful unit in all your missions. In Mechanicus, there are two types of units to control. Tech-Priests, these two, robed fellows who we already commanded, or troops, which are basically like our servitor, which we just deployed. Troops are your servants, and cannon fodder. They don't have access to as many weapons and skills as Tech-Priests. However, they are useful and should not be overlooked. But for those wondering, effectively, what a servitor is well, to put bluntly, they are a human, usually a criminal, who has basically been lobotomized and then, well, converted into what is effectively a mindless drone. And at this stage, we do not need to call in another. We do not need to call in some more servitors in order to achieve the goal. Though we might just steal another point of requisition to take full advantage of that. You've killed a Necron unit with a critical hit. When you critically kill a Necron, they're unable to activate their reanimation protocols and are instantly teleported from battle. And that was our first taste of combat. However, not the end of our mission. All Xenos life forms have been purged. Your cohort's HP amount carries over from each fight within a mission. Keep this in mind when exploring a tomb and look out for opportunities to repair. Okay, we've got something coming up ahead. Hypothesis formulation. Sarcophagi/coffins/burial places. Structural purpose designation. Tomb. In the chambers ahead are several groups of structures like upright coffins of an unknown material. We have three options. Intrigue. Ensure you observe your surroundings carefully. Detailed pick grabs and readings may be the key to success. Ignore. Do not tarry to observe the works of the alien. Press on and avoid any distractions. Or ignite. Make sure you destroy any structure that looks suspicious. It is worth pausing in your advance to do harm to the Xenos abominations. Well, we're tech priests, and this is alien blasphemy. Let's destroy this stuff. The tech priests open fire on the sarcophagi. The structures prove all but impenetrable to normal small arms fire, but components of the strange Necron materials are stripped away and can be salvaged by the cohort for examination and repurposing. So we've gained ourselves some cognition points, and we gained some more black stone. Cognition points do carry over, which can be useful for basically quick deploying troops at the start of battle, or using abilities very early on. After exploring the chamber for several minutes, a tile underfoot clicks. The sound of whirring energy builds up around your troops. A quick omnispec scan reveals you're surrounded on all sides by Xeno life forms. Time to fight. Kill all enemies. Good objective. Let's see. Jeremy there. The Magnus there. And why not, we can sacrifice our already injured servitor going forward. Pushing forward. So you've got energy shielding, so if we shoot him, he'll just eat some of the attack. We do not know what this guy has, though. Actually, here's the thing. We're going to use some points to basically close the distance a bit. Because that means he can't use his... Alright, we've used all the possible actions. So because we used our points, we were able to not only take out one of the Necrons, but also close the distance before he can take a shot. When an enemy moves out of melee range, provided your unit has a melee weapon, the enemy will trigger an opportunity attack. An opportunity attack gives your unit a free melee attack on an enemy. Each unit can only perform one opportunity attack per round. Ouch. Moving the servitor up, we sadly cannot quite reach our target. And we might as well collect from this point. Because at this stage, our servitors can only Well, they can only really to gather one cognition point per thing. And at the end of combat, we collect all cognition points that are on the field. Because that sort of represents the fact that all dangers have been removed, and we are now relatively free to just have a look. And all enemies dealt, we have one last room to go to. This little marker here designates it as a mission objective. So let's have a look. Yep, we've already said that. Okay, represents significant importance to your mission. Entering this room brings you closer to the end of a mission. Negative signs of hostile forces. Seeking permission to proceed with data collection protocols. Confirmed. Permission authorized. Acknowledge Magnus. Protocol begins. What is the primary focus, sire? Knowledge of Necron forces, numbers, defenses, locations. Any form of data on how many remain on this rock. Secondary. Source the purpose of this tomb, why it was built. Interface devices all but eroded. There is one device that may hold answers, but Necron data looms are incomprehensible to Imperium architects. This might take a while. Idea. Magnus, if I may take host of this priest, I could be of assistance. Approved. No spheric interfacing complete. Hard to decipher purpose. List of suggestions Magnus. Plus deconstruct device. Plus activate switch mechanisms. Plus learn Necron language and return later. What will it be, sire? Always so meticulous with your lists, Tech Acquisitor. Engage on Xenos mechanisms, though I detest to do so. The promises of the rewards are too great to ignore. Having to lower ourselves to the Xenos learnings may be the only way to reach the Ark of Tech we seek. Protocol updated. Confusion. Neurospectic interference. Disconnect at once. / this purged reset. Neurospirit disconnection complete. Possible scrap code. Will fragment now. Fragmenting. Sire, we have unfavorable issues to deal with. Requesting Dominius input. Fragmenting. Explain. As Tech Acquisitor Skullvola left, suddenly my cog-gate is glitched. Augmentations entered sporadic reaction protocols and have fried vital sign regulators. Unclear a full damage report. Necron device is now activated, sire. Fragmenting. 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 Remove yourself from the narrow spear, Skullvilla. Rictus, report. The tomb is waking, sire. Reports from Skitarii cohorts across the planet note that tremors vex their locals. We've lost contact with the Skitarii that were covering the entrance to this tomb. We can hear noises of approaching forces. Improve protection protocols, load weapons, and ready for what is to come. We must face the Xenos.
I wake with the turning of aeons. Stars yet burn, life yet blossoms. Is it truly time?
Thrones of Mars, what was that? An omni-logistic transmission, Magnus. It seems these mute constructs are not the only inhabitants of this structure.
What is this? Flesh and steel combined. A mockery of both. Their every footstep a blasphemy. What manner of galaxy is this into which I have awoken?
Principal Xenos warform sighted. Exotic energy signatures past sensor range. Designate Xenos Abominatus. High value target confirmed. The hunt is on. What are your orders, Magnus? The cohorts reach a large chamber beneath the first layers of the Xenos ruins. Bridges stretch from balancing platforms, barely holding themselves together, while rubble falls from the high walkways like breadcrumbs, escaping into the abyss below. We have three options here. We can stand our ground, annihilate the Xenos filth with righteous fury. We can capture, contain the Xenos, and return it to the Celestius Metalcan intact, so it can be vivisected and studied, or fall back. Get the Tech-Priests out of there. Personally, I'm inclined to run. I don't think we're in a position to take this thing on. I concur, Magnus, but I fear this foe will not give us leave to depart.
Insects. This galaxy is infested with vermin.
Gotta love the voice of the Necron voice here. Green light flickers into life from within the shadows. The cohort prepares for the worst as skeletal silhouettes start to form in front of the shadows. This is the final battle of the tutorial. Apply what you have learned so far and strive to obtain victory. The 41st Millennium is a brutal place. You may lose this battle, but not the war. In Mechanicus, there are many alternative paths to discover. Okay, what have we got? We've got Necron Warrior there. One here. And we've got Void Admiral Agrolithka? I think that's how you pronounce it? Hell if I know if it is, but... That's what we've got. And currently we are pulling all the bloody stops for this one. Okay, we'll leave this guy back here. While we push this Magnos forward. Alright, let's have a look at what we've got from our big fellow here. Because our current battle objective is to get our priests up to this location up here and get the hell out of here alive. That requires getting past the Void Admiral, who admittingly has a fair bit of strength behind him. And because this fellow here is probably going to be our immediate obstacle to get our tech priests out of this room alive, let's find out a bit more about him. So he's got he's resistant to electrical weaponry. So a good melee strike will kill him. Because there's two kinds of weapons, as has been mentioned before. There is two types of damage, actually. There's physical damage, and then there is electrical damage.
I sailed the void for 1,000 years. I fought the war in heaven. What can you do to strike fear in one such as I?
And it appears that our Void Admiral has a unique ability, in the fact that he can effectively change what his resistance actually is for. So he's just went from 5... He's just gone from 5 plus electrical armor to 5 plus physical. We're just going to pull our servitors back a little bit to try and lure him down here so that we can try and kill him. Well, not kill him, because I sincerely doubt we could at this stage. He's got a lot of health to go with it, and a fair bit of resistance. And the truth of the matter is, we are very limited in our ability to actually have different types of damage. So right now our goal, quite simply, is don't die.
How dare these wretched things stand before the Void Admiral of Cesaragon?
Yep, every round he changes his thing. Servitor 00000001 has died. Do not worry, troops are cannon fodder designed to protect your tech priests from enemy attacks. Without tech priests, your mission will fail. So effectively, troops, like our servitors, they can die. They are absolutely free to be killed. It doesn't affect the overall mission. I do not believe it costs us anything to replace them after the mission is over. And now we're gonna do the smart thing, and we're just gonna get priests as close to the exit as we can, so that they can run like hell, while the servitors, somewhat heroically, sacrifice their lives to eat Necron fire. And just a quick burst of fire on the down Necron to make sure he stays dead. Just sending the skull to gather ourselves an extra point. Because those servitors are only gonna last for so long. And I'd like the priest to be in as good a position to run for it as possible.
When my fleet sails once more, vermin like you shall be strung from my prow.
Well, all the servitors are dead. And our priests have managed to escape with their lives. The cohort successfully escaped the Xenos life forms. Report, Kapira. Well, we got the squad out alive, Magnus. That has to count as a victory under the circumstances. We encountered a Necron war form of capability well beyond our expectations. Yes, I do not need to hold my emotional engrams. However, one battle won is not a success. We will eventually face losses on this mission. When this happens, we must press on, beyond our failures to reach success. And there is something else. The reanimation. The Necrons are waking up. It started when Rishak stumbled on the tomb, but our arrival is accelerating the process. That obelisk may have been a form of intruder alarm, and now the sarcophagi in the tomb are starting to open. Then we no longer enjoy the luxury of time. Whatever we do on Sylvia Tempris, it must be done before the Necrons awaken completely. We do not even know how far the tomb complex extends. We are under the gun then. Omnisire preserve us if our duty is ever easy. I return sorrow and despair from my emotional cause, but I see they lack the logic to determine decision-making. Instead, I choose to quarantine them and adjust our approach. The word of the Omnisire teaches us that when one method fails, another must be sought, until all are exhausted. Then what are your orders, Magos? The Skitarii will explore the tomb chamber by chamber and maintain a foothold. My tech priests will be deployed to achieve crucial objectives and respond to crises. Time may be a factor, but our mission can only be achieved through the thoroughness of a full deployment. I shall mobilize the Skitarii immediately, Magos. Opportunity detected. Leader forms of Necrons rarely/never observed. Potential of +++ intelligence on Necrons added to sum total of human knowledge. Imperative. Focus on acquiring artifacts/intelligence/data from Hold your blasphemous tongue, Scivola. You counsel the abandonment of our very souls. Life of Archmagos Borelius, Appendix 9. Our only objective should be the death to the alien and all of his works. All else is deviance from the Omnisar Creed. If intelligence gain equals true, then go to victory. Some word I don't really know how to pronounce. Retrieval. To face an enemy unknown is to fight in the dark. Better in ignorance than in heresy. I return frustration at your conflict and choose to experience it. There will be bloodshed enough on Sylvia Tempris without the Magi coming to blows. In our purpose, we are united. This is the will of the Omnisire. And it shall be done. Yes, it shall be done. Magos, the readings from the tomb are troubling. The Skitarii have been monitoring the structure we uncovered, and what they have found gives me grave concern. Explain, xenobiologist. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly, but effectively this guy is the Mechanicus equivalent of a xenobiologist. Which they have. They do have, like, they do have factions that are more inclined to study biology rather than above anything else. The Necron construct forms are waking up. It seems Magos Rishak accidentally began the process, and our intrusion into the structure hastened it. These Necron reanimation protocols are continuing in the tomb we entered, and from the energy spikes across the region, there are other structures yet to be uncovered. My plan for the exploration of Silva Tenebris will locate these structures and contain the constructs within. That may not be enough, Magos. I have detected a repeating pattern in the reanimation protocols, and the rate the Necrons are awakening. They are speeding up. Can you be certain? The Necrons are machines. Machines act according to patterns and programs. If the reanimation protocols continue to accelerate, they will fully awaken every Necron on this planet in 2 hours and 264 hours. Given the extent of the buried structures, that will constitute a Necron army beyond this mission's ability to contain. I see. Then our time here is limited. Strategic calculations indicates time spent deployed on missions will affect the overall number of missions we'll be able to deploy. I will send Skitarii scouting parties to discover other tombs and create forward positions for your high-priority missions, sire. Sir, if the threat on Silva Tempris is not assessed and eliminated before full reanimation is reached, we will be forced to abandon the planet. Alright, look at the top left corner of the screen. This is the Necron Awakening meter. It shows how many of the tombs have awoken. On the planet, try and gather as much information and tech before reaching 100%. I fear they are right. I feel fear too. That is part of my humanity I have chosen to retain. But I can quarantine it in my neurovolts and choose instead to focus on what must be done. We must choose our missions wisely. It will not be easy. The Omnissiah did not send us here to do anything easy. The threat to humanity present on this world will be eliminated, or we shall not leave. Thus the equation is balanced. It is the will of the machine god. And we found another sector. I have no idea how to pronounce the first bit. This tomb is bathed in a sickly green light that serves not to illuminate, but only to make the shadows deeper. Every surface seems connected via filaments of alien light. The design here speaks of Xenos tech heresy, forbidden knowledge, and a structure as alive and aware as anything inhabiting it. Early exploratory readings indicate the walls are made of substances not known to the rituals of metallurgy. Abstract designs carved into the substance suggest unknown regions of space mapped according to some alien understanding. The weight of such blasphemy slows the steps of the first troops to enter here. The heresies of knowledge are deadly enough, but it seems unlikely they are the only dangers here. Welcome to the Centaurus. I have no idea how to pronounce the ship's name. An Ark Mechanicus class battleship. This class of ship is one of the largest in the Imperium and is only afforded to the Adeptus Mechanicus. From here you'll be able to customize your Tech-Priests and prepare for the missions ahead. You can select missions from the character portraits on the left of the screen. Go to the cohort tab. From the cohort quarters, here you can see all the available Tech-Priests and the troop units currently unlocked. Okay, effectively what the top units here are like our servitor. We can, during the process of the game, unlock other troop types, and they will be shown here, including what abilities they've got and all that. And we also have our Tech-Priests who will occupy these 6 slots down here. And the customization screen. Okay, disciplines. Okay, this is the purpose of Blackstone. We can effectively unlock disciplines for our priests, which gives them abilities and customization unlocks. Okay, and each discipline also brings with it different playstyles, as it were. So we've got the Explorators. Explorators take on the quest for knowledge more than any other discipline. They reach far into the depths of unknown space, searching for lost arch-tech, new species, and even new worlds. Now, just to give an idea of what abilities an Explorator gets, by default, they get a scan that allows them to reveal enemy statistics once they enter melee range. As well as abilities here, as we go down the tree, you will also unlock, well, I would call them gear, but it's kind of more like cybernetics that are specially designed to assist in certain ways. Let's see, but first we've got and we'll show them off shortly, but we've got a scan that gives us access to melee range, avoid all opportunity attacks, and gives an additional 3 meters to movement. Angered Spirit. Machine Spirit attacks deal +2. Machine Spirit attacks, we didn't really see them during the tutorial mission, but the more you use a weapon, the more chance you'll get like a super attack from it, known as a Machine Spirit attack. So this effectively means that if we have this, it will do more additional damage. Blessed Generator. Power Field Generators cost less CP to use. And Traveler. If no ranged weapons are equipped, +1 to damage, +3 to 3 meters to movement, +1 physical and energy armor, and increase the critical hit chance by 15%. So the Explorator is very much a class that is designed for melee combat. That's a melee discipline. Let's see. Secutors are masters of man and machine. They wield the often rare trait of charisma. With their inspiring leadership, they are able to multiply the efficiency of Skitarii tenfold. What abilities do you have? Servant Protocol, Servo Skull. Basically, from what we can see here, this guy benefits more from boosting the abilities of the standard troops you bring along. Who, honestly, considering we've got servitors at the moment, not really a huge thing we need to worry about just yet. But just for the sake of it, we'll see what he can do. He can buff troop unit gains +1 damage, 4 meters of movement, and a higher critical hit chance. Let's see, Command Fire. All troops in range, attack selected target. Command. Choose between two... Not sure how to pronounce that. But 2 damage to all troops for their next attack, 2 energy armor and 2 physical armor to all troops for 1 round. Which she can do. Optimization. So cognitive canisters have 1 less cooldown. And reinforcements. Call in a troop unit instantly anywhere on the map. So effectively he would be able to, with this ability, we wouldn't have to wait for the beginning of a turn, he could just summon something now. Tech Auxilium. An often overlooked discipline, the Tech Auxilium takes on tasks that other Tech Priests avoid. They are the oil within an engine. They keep the great Mechanicus cog running as smoothly as they can. Cognition Freedom. Your next weapon's attack cognition cost is reduced by 2 cognition points. Defensive Protocol, Servo Skull. Tech Priest gains 1 physical armor. Bless. Choose between one of the 2. 2 damage to all Tech Priests for their next attack. 2 energy armor and 2 physical armor to all Tech Priests for 1 round. Master Refractor. Refractor field generators cost 1 less cooldown and +2 field defense. And Overzealous. Cast a Canicle for free. We haven't explored these yet, but I will show them off at some point. Let's see, the Lex Mechanic. Rigorous catalogers, Lex Mechanics compile, analyze, and run data entry tasks. They are capable of finding valuable data among indecipherable texts, maps, or other obscure forms such as enemy weakness in battle. Enhanced Analytics. Generate 1 cognition point at the beginning of the unit's turn if the gauge is empty. Not a bad. Extraction Protocol. Servo Skull. Collect all cognition points from 1 source. See, at the moment, Servo Skulls of your basic Tech Priest can only take 1 cognition points from a source at a time, but there can be sources that have 2 or 3. This ability would basically just mean that if we sent a servo skull over to collect stuff, it would get all of it. Let's see. Dead Analytics. 1 cognition point gained on killing a target. Sacred Scanners. Scanners have -1 cooldown. And Overcharge Cognition. Active. Fill the cognition gauge. Passive. Collect 1 cognition point when hit by an enemy. Not bad. Not bad at all. The Engine Seer. Unlike other priests, Engine Seers are found to serve on almost every Imperial planet in the galaxy, seeing to the well-being and maintenance of all things mechanical. Cleansing Ointments cleanse the target of any negative effects, and just as inactive can cleanse a target of negative effects, and passive negative effects last 1 less turn. Auto Repair. Restore 1 HP at the end of the unit's turn. Distant Prayers. Heals 1 target for 3 HP. Enhanced Repair. Curator Claws have -1 cooldown and restore 2 more HP. And Benediction. Choose one of the 2. Restore all HP on all Tech Priests, or restore all HP on all troops. So the Engine Seer is our medic. And last, Dominus. A Dominus is heavily trained in the art of war, using their skills to monitor and calculate highly complex battle maneuvers in the blink of an eye. Enhanced Weapons. +4 range for all ranged weapons. Attack Protocol Servo Skull. Deals 1 damage to target. Angered Spirit. Machine Spirit attacks deal +2 damage. Enhances, which basically means the enhances cost 1 less point to use. Rites of Range. If no melee weapon is equipped, gain 1 damage, 1 physical and energy armor, +4 range to ranged weapons, and 15% critical chance. The Dominus is effectively the ranged unit version of the Explorator. And yes, I was right, you can actually rename the Tech Priests. And so we might do that in the future. But before anything else... Oh yes, Tech Priests have... effectively, they get amounts of points that they can use on themselves. That allows them to basically pick up enhancements or weaponry and stuff like that. But that's not important right at this moment. I'll go through and give people some upgrades shortly. But before we leave off, I wanted to just show off the 2 missions we have as options. And I'm going to leave a poll in the description of this video so that people can vote on which mission they would like to see. The Killing Jar. Tech Acquisitor Scarvola wishes to begin her research into the secrets of the Necrons, and has asked for specimens of the enemy to be gathered from the tomb of E. Let's see, rewards. We get an arc rifle, which is a new kind of ranged weapon. We gain an Omnispecs, which target has 50% chance to miss you with its attacks for 1 round, and gain some black stone. And it is an easy mission. Necron Warriors and the Chronotech Scarabs will be taking part. We haven't seen these things yet, but we'll probably see them during this mission soon enough. And the alternative is Winds of Change. Lector Dogmaticus Vidix has requested the deployment of a sensor servitor to fumigate the tomb of Aguroth and cleanse its spiritual corruption. In return for this mission, we would get an Infectus Mechadroid, which effectively gives us a little tool to add on to our tech priests that can allow them to do a melee attack. It knocks back the target by 1 tile, and it deals 1 physical damage. Not a huge thing, but it does an additional thing, and I know from experience can be used to finish off down Necrons really well. And we've got the Curato Claw, which effectively is a medkit. We can strap onto a tech priest that can be used to heal from 2 to 4 HP. We also gain some Blackstone, but there is only Necron warriors here. So I will let people decide which mission they would rather me play. Until then, though, my name is Bright Ops, and I look forward to hearing from you.